Well, I am driving the truck right now, and I have no idea what my exposure is like. Likely it's terrible. I am on this side of St. Cloud before Fargo, headed to Grand Forks after that, and enjoying it. I do have a little bit of concern because the engine light came on here, said that there's an issue with the transmission, but I've been listening to it and it's pulling fine. The transmission isn't slipping. I will say this. It sounds like the transfer case in the back needs grease or oil, whatever you put in a transfer case. I have no idea what the weight would be of that, but I think that is an issue. So tonight I'm going to get into Grand Forks, get myself a hotel room, crash. Last night I slept 10 hours and it wasn't enough. Kind of felt rough right around when I went to sleep. I didn't know if I was hungry because I only ate twice yesterday. I ate breakfast and I ate kind of like 3 or 4 o'clock. And I don't like to eat a ton when I'm driving. I did have some snacks. I had a bag of this earlier, but we're out of 21 hours. We've got 2 hours and 45 minutes left. So we've driven over 18 hours in the last 36 hours? Yeah. So I wasn't like super rested when I started yesterday, and I started out by driving my parents to the airport too. So that was certainly probably didn't make it much easier putting in that many hours. And then also the other thing you got to remember is that driving a truck across the United States is a lot different than driving a car. Driving a car here it's 70, I'd be going 75, 80. I am going 70. And that is a couple different reasons. That is to keep my fuel economy reasonable. The faster you go with a bigger engine, the less fuel efficient they are. If you go back to the oil embargo and the OPEC days when that first started, the whole reason that the mile per hour limitations on small back roads was 55 miles per hour was because of fuel economy. That was where vehicles did the best. So the further up you are, the more you burn. There was one time I was driving my Dodge Neon. We went to a track meet down at the University of South Dakota. And on the way home, we drove ourselves. We were just burned out. We wanted to get back. And so I think my friend Eric Van Laken and Eric Kittles and I were driving in my Dodge Neon. And I did 120 in between Yankton and Mitchell. I had no fuel. It was gone. I also, when I was over, I drove between Stuttgart and Munich one time on the Autobahn and did 120 the whole time on that route too. I don't remember how much. That was in a brand new Volvo. So I have, come on, old girl. Just going up a little rise here, and she hasn't shifted. So one of the things they said that would be a concern is that it would basically stop shifting, but only lost 4 miles per hour, so maybe that's why I didn't shift. Anyway, I was going between Stuttgart and Munich. I don't remember how much fuel I used, and part of that was that it was a brand new Volvo, so maybe it had great fuel economy. So just thoughts as I'm driving across the country. It is weird to feel all of the bumps and everything on the road when you're not used to them, because I'm pulling a trailer right now. The bumps are exacerbated by the second trailer bouncing around, pulling me around, making me feel a lot of stuff. And I'm hypersensitive because this truck, I haven't had a ton of issues with it, but I did drop the drive shaft out of it a couple weeks ago. Did just replace the ignition coil on cylinder 7 right before I left, which it's been performing beautifully. As I get more and more used to it and more comfortable with it, I am pretty happy with how it's handling. But we're cruising along, doing our thing here. I am also looking at the changes in topography as we go across the United States, and that's one of the things that's super interesting to me. I didn't realize how flat Indiana was, because even south of Indianapolis, flat all the way through Lafayette into Chicago. It's just a pancake. And I guess I had somehow just skipped that in my brain, because I think of like the area around Grand Forks is very flat, and that area back there was just as flat. This area around St. Cloud, between St. Cloud and Alexandria, is very rolling, kind of what I like, but just interesting to see the changes. So, okay, just a little update. I don't want to bore you guys all day long, but I did want to share some of what I've been doing. I'm trying to put it together, I guess, in a video at some point. I have a ton of editing to do. Part of my problem is I've been doing all of my editing on my phone, and I need to get a laptop. Well, not even a laptop. I need what I need to do is build my own computer so that I can get it on there and process it like that. Because the laptop that I had for work, when I was processing some things, that thing would be like, 24 hours from now, this processing will be good on. Something with a couple more cores, processing power with a video card on it would be superb. And right now, having a desktop like that wouldn't even be that expensive. So I guess the other part of that is just having money right now to do things like buy a house, rent an apartment, all of that stuff, which is kind of a mess, but we'll get it all figured out here shortly. So, all right, anyway, thanks guys.